All right. Hey, it's another day. Won't you come out and play? So much to see and do, and I want to be with you. Sun is rising in the sky like a giant lemon pie. You might sleep your life away if you did not hear me say, hey, it's another day. Won't you come out and play? Harmony! So much to see and do, and I want to be with you. Good morning, everybody.
Wow.
And
Hey.
happy 4th of July.
Right. This is fantastic. Thank you so much. Well, welcome everyone. Yes, thank you. Welcome to Billy and Dodee Sunday Brunch.
BYOB, remember?
BYOB.
That
right?
stands for Bring Your Own Bean.
Yes. I want to say I've already been online kind of watching the people check in, and I want to, it's so fun. Thank you so much for leaving us comments on YouTube or Facebook. We can't follow along since we only have 30 minutes, so please let us know. But thank you. We've had lots of people check in from Minnesota and Florida and friends from British Columbia. Oh, beautiful up there. And someone checked in from Serbia, so we're going to, give them the award for the farthest away, and who knows what time it is.
Wow.
Shot.
They checked in.
Yes, here,
Okay,
live.
fantastic.
So, and people from all over Texas, of course, and Arkansas. So let us know where you're from. Let us know how you are. And we hope you'll leave us some messages, but also talk to each other during this in the chat. That's going to be so much fun.
Hang out, write,
Yes.
breathe. So glad you're here.
So
what is your bean? What is our bean?
our bean is, yes, the infamous Austin classic. We're having Rudamaya coffee today.
Rudamaya coffee.
Right, which is, Austin original and a classic.
It is. And they have a special blend called Rude Awakening.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't believe this is, but delicious. So.
No, they don't. They really don't. I wish they did.
You made that
wish
up.
that they had that. So here's our plan for the next half hour. Mm-hmm. To slow down, to breathe. Another Austin classic is the vocal group, the renowned chamber vocal group called Conspirare, which is really Latin for conspiracy, to breathe together.
Right.
They named themselves not to sing together, but to breathe together.
Wow, that's so fantastic.
That's good.
That's good. That's good.
So that's what we're going to do. This time together with you is really not about nostalgia, although we're having fun unpacking some of the goodies and oldies. Mm-hmm. But really more, it's about claiming a few minutes with you to breathe and to listen to our own heartbeats, to get our toes a little down into that river of meaning, if we can. So, darling, what is the good Father O'Donohue saying?
So, this morning, as tradition, we'll be sharing something from John O'Donohue. Lord, we give thanks for arriving safely in a new dawn, for the gift of eyes to see the world, the gift of mind to feel at home in our life, with the waves of possibility breaking on the shores of dawn. Thank you. And amen.
This is my Father's world, and to my listening ears, all nature sings and round me rings the music of the spheres. This is my Father's world. I rest me in the thought of rocks and trees, of skies and seas. His hands the wonders wrought.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
want to say what a great surprise actually it was to hear from so many people last week. You know, I was laughing with Billy this morning. Of course, one of the reasons we're doing this is so that Billy can sing in the mornings for you during his vocal recovery. And we've sort of discovered in this that Billy sings really well in the morning and Dodee sings really well better in the evening. Like, he's farsighted and I'm nearsighted. So between the two of us, we've got like one good day here.
One good voice.
And we can see pretty much everything as long as we're together. So
You say tomato,
yeah.
I say tomato.
Right.
You can't say tomato.
Right.
I can't say tomato.
Anyway, and thank you all because for responding last week to our word of the day, which was today. Last week it was today. So
Sort that out. Figure that out.
And we have, and one of our dear friends, Laura Lee McCullough, actually wrote a verse on the prompt word for the day, and Billy's going to read it.
Thank you, Els. This is wonderful. All right, from Laura Lee. Today, I rise and celebrate the first breath of the day, waking gently to find echoes of dear friends and songs illuminating hearts. Woven faith, hope, and love stitches a stalwart quilt, one of strength and support, reaching out to the corners of earth and universe. Blessed for the chance to walk among collective souls, we raise our common cup, topped off with fresh gratitude, living in each moment. All right, here's one from a project I did called Simple Plans. And I haven't done it for years, but it feels good this morning. And co-write with my pal Milton Brasher Cunningham, No Strings on Love. I got to tell you what I know, there ain't no strings on love. Wherever you are, wherever you go, there ain't no strings on love. You might scream and stomp the floor, pack your bags and hit the door. God keeps coming back for more, there ain't no strings on love. Told you about the prodigal son, there ain't no strings on love. Party time when he came home, there ain't no strings on love. Now you've been running, so have I, got a few more tricks that we can try. We'll get tired by and by, and there ain't no strings on love. Well, they say life is all a competition. How can you survive without some ammunition? Lose your looks, your hair falls out, there ain't no strings on love. Some of you know what I'm talking about, there ain't no strings on love. You might live on borrowed time, broken heart, troubled mind. I think sure they're keeping kind, there ain't no strings on love. Wow, I did that. All right, one more. Well, they say life is all a competition. How can you survive without some ammunition? Listen to me one more time, there ain't no strings on love. Sunday morning, Friday night, there ain't no strings on love. Sunny day, pouring rain. Yeah?
Yeah.
Avalanche or hurricane, God keeps calling out your name, and there ain't no strings on love.
No strings. Love it.
6 strings. There's only 6 strings on love.
Thank you, darling. So you're going to tell us what our word for the week is. Or today is not the... Wait a minute. That was last week. I'm starting to feel like I'm in a Who's on First.
The word for today is not today, because today the word is thresholds. Now, for all you writers, that's your prompt.
Mm-hmm. So,
Consider.
yes. So, the word thresholds, of course, inspired us to think. And I was reminded of a wonderful day just a couple of weeks ago that Billy was invited to and delivered the graduation, the commencement speech for the Catherine Ann Porter High School of the Arts here in Wimberley. And, Billy, share some of the things because it was moving to everyone.
Well, okay, it was fun to do. Mm-hmm. I love graduation speeches. I'm kind of a nerd that way. My favorite is probably the one that Mr. Rogers gave to the graduating class at Dartmouth. I think it was in 2012. Go look that up if you want something fun. Mm-hmm. Maybe as an artist, I don't know, the creative instinct is to think about liminal spaces. Liminal spaces is that, well, you know what subliminal is?
Just
It's below the threshold
right.
of perception. Mm-hmm. So liminal is the threshold.
Yes.
Which is our word of today.
Yes.
So this group of graduates and their families all packed in. It was a rainy day like today. And so we were going to meet outside in the amphitheater, but they pulled it into a little bit too small auditorium, and we were packed in, which is great. It felt great. Liminal, the moment that we have ended and the one that we are beginning, we're in between. Mm-hmm. And so it's like when the wave meets the shore, it's no longer the sea and it's not yet the land. Mm-hmm. Or when the plane gets to the end of the runway. Mm-hmm. And it must take off, but it hasn't. But it must. But it hasn't. But it must. It must. And so I tried to savor this with them. The end of the musical, when the last song has been sung, the last word of the last song has been sung, and the actors are standing there on the stage, and nobody has breathed. And nobody has applauded. And there is no standing ovation yet. Nobody has grabbed or looked for their coats to go out into the big city and carry on. In this moment, so we expanded it, and I said I'd like to remember some things and to imagine some things with you, which we did. Mm-hmm. And then down towards the end, I said, "But you can't stay here. This is your freedom calling, and this is the world calling. Mm-hmm. You have an appointment with your gifts, and we need you." Mm-hmm.
So, well, and then he invited them to pack their bags, which I believe their parents were kind of thrilled about too. But he also said, the time has come to change your life, and challenged them. Your life has come to change the time.
Yeah. That was fun. And then immediately afterwards, they all packed up and went to Padre Island. And the parents went to sleep.
Sigh of relief.
It all turns, doesn't it? The world goes round today. The tide hangs like a trailer on the moon. It all turns, doesn't it? The grass beneath the snow one day will be growing green and new. So when it's time to let it go, somewhere in your heart you know there is a river deep and true that runs beneath all time and you. 'Cause it all turns, doesn't it? A tooth becomes a space and whistles when you face into the wind. Well, it all turns, doesn't it? On graduation day, one world fades away and one begins. And when it's time to say goodbye, I wonder if it isn't wise to know that in some holy sense the circle brings it around again. 'Cause it all turns, doesn't it? Turn. Never hold on to where you've been. It all turns, doesn't it? Turn. Daylight to darkness and then daylight back again. It all turns.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Milton.
Well, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for local news.
Oh. Oh, great. Okay, so every week we want to tell you something great about our town in the hill country, Wimberley, Texas. And this week we're gonna tell you a secret. Nobody should know this. It's so great. It's a little place called Blue Hole. It's actually kind of famous, I guess. They made a major motion picture partly there.
Mm-hmm. It was the Alamo.
The Alamo.
One, yeah, the Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
And USA Today calls it one of the top 10 swimming holes in America.
Right, in the whole country.
Yeah. So the word is out, I guess. But it's right. It's right. It's in a little protected place, and mm-hmm. protected is the truth, mm-hmm. because some brave citizens here kept it from being developed in other ways, other sort of pedestrian, mundane ways, and kept it special.
Yeah.
What it is now is available mm-hmm. by reservation, mm-hmm. And you can swim, play tennis, hike, run,
sand
picnic.
volleyball and picnic. Yeah, it's a gorgeous place.
So if you come to Wimberley, you ought to come. Blue Hole.
Blue Hole. And you can find out about it on cityofwimberley.com.
Well, there we go.
That's our commercial for the morning for our little wonderful town.
We're going to need a swimming hole.
So we have a bunch of things coming up. We are about to announce a fall concert series. So stay tuned for newsletters. If you're not on the newsletter, you can email us at rsvp@bluerocktexas.com and get on our newsletter so that we can share with you when we do our next series. And we're working on our next songwriter workshop right now as well. So more news soon.
From the Blue Rock Foundation
Yes.
about Song Workshop as well.
Great. And, one thing that we, of course, noticed this week, because we were thinking about thresholds all week, were our friends and people we know that are on thresholds right now. Mm-hmm. So we got word that our great friend and young person, Allie, Allison is now at Disney World doing her 7-month internship at Disney World, and she was just there. Her orientation is like right now, and Mickey came in and delivered her badge, her name badge. But that was really
Allie.
fun for us because she has Billy also.
Great threshold, and yeah, I did some Disney time, and so did our niece Becca.
Did the same.
Anyway,
program.
that's a big departure and a big
Yeah.
claim of your gifts, Allie, and I know it's a big threshold for your parents as well.
And then we have, and we saw that our friends Roger and Cash closed on a house and moved to Wimberley. It's not, it is not closed yet. There's still people here and people we care and love moving in. So welcome, Roger and Cash. But we saw also Kit and Cynthia pick up and go up to the north, and so they're probably in that liminal space of driving their U-Hauls.
I wonder if the
up
pandemic
north.
has really made some differences in all of us that we're still all sorting out, and it requires some change.
Well, and I think the big thing was, it gave us the chance to think about, what are those things that are really important that we want to keep, and what are those things that we really need to let go of and
There
move
it
on
is.
from.
That's it.
And that's kind of the threshold word. Is you're right there, you're making those choices right there, and so we hope that wherever those thresholds have you right now, that you are feeling the support and of your circle of friends, and that we are part of that circle.
I had the most remarkable lunch this week with our fearless studio manager and engineer, Nathan Walters. And we talked about that. Mm-hmm. I must have had thresholds on my mind. Mm-hmm. But the idea that life is a project of memory and discovery, of knowing what to keep from what you got, from what you were handed, and what to let go of and create yourself. And one of the philosophers I have come to admire, it's said by many, is that the opportunity or the responsibility we have living in the modern world is to re-authenticate our inherited stories, values, traditions, or change them.
Yeah.
And that was a lengthy lunch, but we didn't care. Thank you, Nathan.
Well, those are meaningful encounters, which we are challenging everyone to.
Yeah. All right. Quickly now. I'll just tell you one other little thing that happened to me a couple days ago, is that my friend Chris Hawks, who plays in the band Dawn and Hawks, with his wonderful bride, Miranda, they were here. We were talking about a project, and they said they were about to go up to Oklahoma. And I said, where? And they said, well, we're going to play in Guthrie, little town of Guthrie.
Oh.
Wow. My birth town.
Right.
And where all of my mom's people, or my mom's parents, my grandparents, she grew up, my uncles, my Aunt Mary grew up. And anyway, they were headed up there. And it was an involuntary moment for me to continue a process of unpacking some things in my life, some memories and the threshold that goes actually back in time. And I didn't realize it, but there are discoveries there. And maybe I'm late to that party, but that has been rich. And it reminded me of a young band queen, my mother, who was engaged to be married to also a young fighter pilot in training at Tinker Air Force Base. And that was several hours away by car, but only a few minutes away by fighter plane. And he told her one night, he said, I'll be calling you at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And then at 6, precisely at 6, and he had changed his flight plan for Guthrie. And at 6 p.m., he came barreling down above North Wentz, where the street they lived on. She was there living with her folks that summer. And by the way, this is the way it was told to me, y'all. And it began to shake the house and the rafters. And as she ran out into the front yard to try to wave at her man, of course, my grandparents were inside shaking their heads. Like, there goes the boyfriend.
I love that.
It's been fun to unpack some of this stuff. But we're kind of rounding third here now. Where do we go?
You want to sing?
I think what we should do is I was going to sing a little thing. I'll just sing a touch of it.
Okay.
Rich Mullins wrote a song that I love. And it is about discovery. It's about a threshold moment, especially for creative people. We always feel like we're behind a veil and we can almost see, but clung to a ball that was hung in the sky, hurled into orbit, there you are. Now whether you fall down or whether you fly, seems you can never get too far. Someone's waiting to put wings upon your flightless heart. You're on the verge of a miracle, standing there, oh. You're on the verge of a miracle, just waiting to be believed in. Open your eyes and see. You're on the verge of a miracle.
Love that threshold. Thanks.
Yeah.
Beautiful song. Well, we're sort of rounding third here again.
Yeah.
But in the spirit of the fourth, we wanted to share the story of a song prompt that was given in one of our songwriter workshops by Mary Gaucher, Gretchen Peters, and Eliza Gilkison. It was actually the Emma Lazarus poem that is carved into the Statue of Liberty. And one of the participants, Keith Larson, wrote an amazing song called At the Foot of Liberty. And there's a wonderful video of it on YouTube, so if you need some additional inspiration for the fourth, then please check out Keith Larson, At the Foot of Liberty.
It's good.
And you know, I can never pass this day without remembering that I am the daughter of an immigrant.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. On my mother's side, I'm the first one born in the United States. And she came to this country as a young girl with her stepfather, her mother, her brother, and sister. She was adopted by her stepfather, who had been an American chaplain serving the Canadian forces in England. And they all came back here together. And she really did. Mom lived the American dream. She went to school, she married, she had 5 girls, she became vice president of a bank, and she became a citizen in 1994, the year that Billy and I were married. And I went through the whole process with her, the whole, flashcards to take the test,
right,
and exam, the whole thing. And I was there the day she was sworn in. And what a threshold that was. You know, the judge was amazing and acknowledged all the reasons that people come to this country, and got everybody, you know, sort of laughing and thinking about their homes. But she said then, as I call the name of your birth country, will you stand in its honor and remain standing until I've called them all? And honestly, I do not believe there was a dry eye in that room. I still kind of break up thinking about that. And then, while they were all standing, she invited them to take the oath of allegiance. Now, I have to remember that story as well in her amazing life every 4th of July. If you've never had the chance to experience the swearing in of that, it really, all of us that were born here really should have that experience. So, you know.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you for asking me to tell that. So.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Well, have a great week. Be in touch. Don't be a stranger. And if you are so inspired, send us your threshold story. We will look forward to that, and we will look forward to seeing you this time next Sunday. But we're going to close it out now, kind of like we always do.
For every daybreak, out on the traveler's way, follow the high road and look for me there. Take bread for the journey and strength for the fight, comfort to sleep through the night, wisdom to choose at the fork in the road, and a heart that knows the way home. And for the faithful, and for the weary, and for the hopeful, and for the day to come, be on your way, traveling mercy to you. Traveling mercy to you. So be good to the earth, be good to each other, and as my dear old mama still says to me, try to behave. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Woohoo! Cheers.
Thank you, darling.